And I also talk about Krystic astrology, and Krystic astrology is just astrology without distortions in it. That's all it is. When I mean Krystic, I mean the divine truth or the organic truth, the original truth, however you want to classify it, but it's outside of distortion and manipulation and lies. So that's what Krystic astrology is. It's true sidereal, the living sky based on the truth and with no manipulation or lies built into it. So today we're going to talk about the celestial lineup for the coming week. Hi, Elizabeth. Hello, guys. Please do stick around. Tap on the screen to give some likes. Oh, I forgot to share. Hang on. Sharing is caring. I do need to take a sip of my tea because my throat is tickling. Nice. I can't believe I forgot to share out. Sharing is caring, but that's okay. In a moment, we're going to talk about the living sky and how to work with the energies. I think sometimes people feel almost a little bit of an opposition to true sidereal for some reason. And, maybe that's surrounding the fact that they have built an identity on they have their identity based in the tropical astrology. Case in what I'm trying to say is somebody may feel opposed to true sidereal because they are a Leo in tropical, or they really like the fact that they are say Scorpio or something like that. And knowing that when you check in true sidereal and look at what the sky was really doing, that's going to shift. But the Krystic astrology also is not looking at, it's not a personality thing, right? It does way more than just that. So what we're looking at is the living sky and how to work with the energies of the sky. If that's something that interests you, please stick around. And also, if you're checking this on the replay, make sure that you hit a like or comment. Hi, Linda. How are you, love? I hope that you're doing well. So let's talk about this sky. We are firmly in Capricorn season, and we have a very much, we have a stellium in Capricorn, because we have the Sun, Mercury, Mars, Venus, and also Pluto in Capricorn. So we have that stellium. We did have a little bit of a stellium in Pisces as well, but that's because Neptune, Saturn, and the moon were in Pisces on the 2nd. So we have Mercury in Capricorn until February 5th, and then it moves into Aquarius. So this Thursday, we have Venus in Capricorn until February 8th, when it then transits into Aquarius. And Mars will remain in Capricorn for a while, which is going to be sustaining that disciplined momentum, because that's the energy of Capricorn, right? It's big daddy energy is what I like to call it. The moon is going to transition through Leo, Virgo, and Libra over the course of this week from the 3rd until the 9th. And we are also in the waning phase following the full moon that just passed on February 1st. I need another sip. And I might have to go and grab my little shawl because it is a little cooler than I thought it was going to be in here today. So this week bridges structure and vision. So this is the final phase of Capricorn, of that concentrated, I didn't want to say the word, concentrated Capricorn energy. There we go. The concentrated Capricorn energy. We just have a little bit more of Capricorn season. And then the field begins to turn towards the Aquarius energy. And Capricorn at this stage is no longer asking for effort. It's wanting you to assess what you've already done. So what have you built over the weeks of Capricorn season? Because it began on, I think it was on December 19th, 20th. Let me see. Capricorn on January 19th. So it moved on the 19th of January into Capricorn season. And that whole season has been about strong, like building strong foundations, the structures, about discipline, aligning with your truth. But at this time, it's not. I just want you to assess all of those things that you've done, right? What have you built over the past weeks? This is now revealing its truth through lived experience. So it's going to be asking you through the course of this week to reflect on some things. So what structures feel stable and supportive? And these structures don't have to be just physical. It could be friends, like support groups, things like that. What feels heavy, rigid, or overly restrictive? Those things need to be addressed as well. And then where did discipline restore peace and where did it become control? Because discipline is devotion to your highest path. It's devotion to your highest timeline. It's devotion to your highest self, right? That's what discipline is. Discipline is saying, I have this goal, or I have this thing that I want to achieve, or I have this vision of who I am. And in order for me to get there, what do I need to do in the steps that I need to take? And then I'm going to be devoted to that path that would lay before me to get there. So if I wanted, I started a nonprofit and I want this nonprofit to be very successful, there has to be a roadmap for that nonprofit to be successful. There has to be things that you do every day, or that you do at least consistently, in order to grow that, or to create what it is that you're attempting to create, right? You have to have devotion, and discipline is that devotion. So Capricorn is teaching that true structure creates from freedom. When we create from that rigid structure, like that really rigid space, we're not opening ourselves up to receiving, or not opening ourselves up to that energy of flow, right? Which we need to be in flow to have that flow movement. So this week continues that honest evaluation without judgment. It's just assess it. Is it working? Is it not working? Is it heavy? Is it light? Is it, ask yourself the questions. And if it's not in alignment, just let it go. What did you learn from it? How did it, what purpose? Like, you don't even have to get into too much of that. But let's say I do this evaluation during Capricorn season and I'm like, oh, the evaluation that I'm making is, say, all these groups that I'm running. There's far too many of them. I need to streamline. It's not about looking at, oh my God, I wasted my time, or it was such a lame thing that I made these and I never ended up using them, or I didn't use them, or they didn't, whatever my expectations, or the reason why I created what I was hoping to achieve through that. It's not a loss. Sometimes it's just a refinement. You're looking at what really aligns with you in the moment. And that can change because you've changed. So some things just simply need refinement before the next season begins. And we want to be prepared for Aquarius season. So another sip of tea. Please tap the screen, the viewers, please. Unfortunately, it's the way that TikTok and all of them are. You need to get the likes. You need to get the interaction. And if you don't, then they think, well, what's the point of, promoting that person's videos, because nobody's even watching it. All right, let's look at what the other energies are of the week and get our focus in. We got Mercury and Venus. These two are transiting from Capricorn into Aquarius. So they're going into, the mental and relational field, mental being Mercury, relational being Venus, are preparing to loosen because they were under that big daddy energy of refinement and alignment that we were with that Capricorn energy. So it's now with Mercury moving towards Aquarius, we are opening our perception and new thinking, while Venus begins to reorientate your values and your relationships towards freedom and authenticity. So those things are going to be being pulled out of us through the season of Mercury and Venus being in Aquarius. So this week is not about acting on the new ideas yet. It's about noticing what wants to evolve. So what are the new ideas that are coming to you? Where are there things within that you want to see expand, that you're growing, that type of stuff. It's making note of all of these things. So as Capricorn finishes the work, Aquarius will reimagine it. Because remember, Aquarius isn't, as we went through the seasons, right? Sagittarius was about drawing the arrow in truth, in alignment, and setting it forward. So it's like, let's go. We've got the truth now. We've refined, like we've gotten to our truth and alignment. Now that we're in truth, let's set the foundation and build the structures and refine everything that's around us. That's what Capricorn was doing. And then Aquarius says, well, now that we've refined this and we have legacy for our, for ourselves and for our children, how can we make this future proof? How can we make this so that it is not just a legacy, but it is also, going to help humanity? How can this be more of a collective thing? And so Aquarius wants to move it to the future and also to humanity. It wants to enlarge enlarge what we're building through Capricorn. Okay, so that's what's happening with Mercury and Venus. Now we have the moon flow. So the moon is about expression, then refinement, and then balance. That's the phases that it goes through this week as it goes from Leo to Virgo to Libra. In Leo, it's about authentic expression without performance. So like me, I'm just showing up, right? I'm showing up regardless of how many people are watching me. I'm showing up regardless of the feedback that I'm getting, right? Because I'm showing up as me, authentically sharing the truth of True Sidereal and Krystic astrology and how to work with the energy of the week. Because that's what I teach people to do. I teach people to align with their truth and how to live as we are meant to live in the divine organic blueprint. So Christ consciousness, Krystic astrology, the Krystic path, and embodiment, things like that. That's what I teach. Virgo moon, that is where it's refinement. So we're going to look at our lives and the environment around us, and we're going to say, okay, what am I doing that is working for me? What am I doing that's not working for me? Where do I have routines and habits that aren't working? They're not in devotion, or they're just not aligned anymore. Then there's the nervous system regulation. It's about that capacity to hold more, or aligning ourselves, and practical adjustments. So that's what what Virgo is asking of us. Then we have our Libra moon, and the Libra moon is about relational balance, fairness, and energetic reciprocity. So these are the energies that we're moving through. If we work with them, we grow and evolve, and we continue to do that and evolve in our enlightenment. If we choose to just, continue in our cycles, like that's the difference between spinning in a circle and not evolving and not growing your soul and just seeing the same patterns, the same life, the same day over and over again. That's is wise. There's no change. You're not making change to what you're doing. You're not making change to your routines. You're not making a change to your habits. A lot of us will go and learn information. We might even go and seek out therapy. We might go and take some courses on trauma or shadow work or on a whole host of things. It's the lived part of it that makes it real, right? Otherwise, it's just information. It doesn't even become knowledge or wisdom. Like, it's not applied until you actually do something with it. So if you take a trauma course and you're given breath work, for example, as a daily practice, and you don't do that breath work as a daily practice, then you're not integrating, you're not embodying, you're skipping that part. And we need to do that. A lot of spiritual teachers will be out there all talking about killing your ego and ego dissolution, ego death, all these fancy words, and how we're supposed to kill our egos. No, you're not. And there's so many that talk about transcendence and transcending the physical body until you're nothing but a spirit and energy, and all these concepts around the dimensions and things like that. We are not meant to become so spiritual that we are not embodied. We came here to have a physical experience in the third dimension, which is a physical realm. So we will stay physical. It's important to bring our spirit into the physical, to live as we're meant to live, to embody the truth. That's how we change the world. So how do we work with the energy of this week so that it helps us, instead of spiraling in a circle, it helps us spiral in an evolution, getting higher and higher? So this week is not asking you to initiate, declare, or pivot suddenly. It's asking you to finish cleanly. We work with this week by slowing the impulse to change and turning instead towards assessment. So remember, we're just assessing this week. We're not making big changes. So the actions, or supportive actions, include reviewing commitments honestly and asking whether they match your current capacity. Your nervous system determines your capacity. So if you have a company, let's say, and you are, launching a product or a service or something like that, you can test where your nervous system capacity is when you're doing your pricing, right? If I say to myself, oh, I'm launching this new program and I'm going to charge $2,000 for it, and all of a sudden I feel there's something in me that's afraid of that money, that's afraid of that size of money, or that doesn't see that that's a reciprocating thing from the field that I'm working with. There's something there, right? And that's a nervous system adjustment. My nervous system has to be soothed. I have to understand what it is that is working against me there, what it is that my fear is or my trauma is, and work through that. And that's by that nervous system, right? Restoring soothing and regulation within the nervous system. We are going to be this week asking to refine routines so that they require less effort and to create more stability, right? Your routines are supposed to flow smoothly, and it's not meant to feel like it's a labor or that you're doing it because you have to or you're performing in some way. It should be aligned. Hi, love. How are you? You watched my live for 100 minutes. Man, that's awesome. I think that's awesome. All right. So we're going to be refining our routines so they require less effort and more stability. We're going to be adjusting our boundaries that have become porous or over rigid. And both of those things, it's important to make the assessment of. Noticing as well new ideas, insights, or impulses. And again, this is without acting on them. So you can have that flash. Like I had an idea of a course that I want to teach, but I've already put myself in a timeout for any new creation. So there's no creating right now. Would you mind tapping on the screen a little bit, my love? So noticing those new ideas, insights, or impulses without acting on them yet. This is a week for observation rather than execution. You're going to let Capricorn show you what has truly stabilized during Capricorn season, not what you hope will stabilize later. It's showing you the truth right now. And if restlessness arises during this phase, do not interpret it as a signal to move. It is just information. Something is preparing to change, but it is not ready to be acted on yet. Use the waning lunar cycle as a phase to simplify rather than add, to correct small misalignments, and to release commitments that drain energy without producing coherence, right? So we want to get rid of all of that stuff that's weighing us down, that's tying us to, say, timelines or energies that we're not meant to stay tied to. right? So allow yourself to release the things that are not in alignment with you. This week is about finishing well. Completion is what makes the next season clean. Aquarius arrives soon. Let me see on the actual date of that. I went to the wrong spot on the site to check it. Let's go back to the sun. Let's look at our sun. I have an actual grid with everything written on it, but I didn't want to grab it out. All right. February 16th is when Aquarius season officially begins. All right. February 16th, and early in the morning as well. So we've got a little bit yet. So next Tuesday, we will continue preparing for the sun's transition into Aquarius and explore how to shift from structure into innovation without losing coherence. Let what is stable remain, and let what is ready to evolve. Geez, that was a tongue twister I made for myself. But that's it. It's a quick live today. It was just a quick live to check in on the energies of the week. And again, using True Sidereal, and we're looking at the living sky. That's how I work. I work with the living sky. So, right, easy for me to say. So we're working with the living sky here. We do our check-in on Tuesdays for the entire week. And so that's available on the recording, which will be on YouTube channel or TikTok as well, but I'll put up some clips for it. And I'll see you here on Thursday. And Thursday we will be here around 1:45. I should be on time on Thursday. I don't think there's a reason why not to be at this point. But I'll see you on Thursday at 1:45. And that's where we're going to talk about Christ consciousness. And we're also going to talk about living the embodied way or the Krystic pathway, however you want to say it. And that's it. That's all. It's a quick little check-in this week. And then we'll be back at it. We'll be back at it on Friday. Well, no, Thursday. Geez, Thursday. They're nice glasses. I wonder if I should get a pair. Right? I could try. All right, you guys. Well, I love you. I hope you have a wonderful week. Check out the recording to see what to anticipate with the energies. And like I said, I'll be putting up a little bit of content, like little clips from the live into that. But otherwise, I'll see you back here on Thursday at about 1:45 p.m. Mountain Time, which is, 3:45 Eastern Time. So 3:45 Eastern. As an example of the time zone, the different time zones. But I love you, and I'll see you then. Have a beautiful afternoon.